This is the Zurich ZR11S OBD2 code reader, guys. I also have this cheaper model, ZR4S. This works fine for just, scanning basic engine codes as well as ABS codes. But I needed to upgrade to this model because I needed something that could scan SRS codes. That's the airbag light codes. And these are both Harbor Freight models. Right now, these are on clearance as of December of 2025. They have been for several months now. I spoke to the guy at Harbor Freight and he said they'll be on clearance indefinitely. And the reason for that is he thinks there's a new model coming out. So they used to have the ZR11s and then they came out with the ZR11S. I think I paid about $90 for this one. I don't know what these cost prior to going on clearance, but for the time being, guys, that's not a bad deal. This is their lowest tier tool that can actually scan for SRS codes. And usually for a tool that does that, you'll have to pay $100+. So today, I just want to show you how this works a little bit, do a review, show you some of the features. There is a really cool feature that this tool has that I'll talk about here shortly. So any vehicle made after 1996 has an OBD2 port, guys. That's a port that accepts a plug like this. They're all the same. Usually those ports will be somewhere underneath the dash, either to the right or the left of the steering wheel. Mine is right down here. So I'm going to plug that in, and then as you can see, that lights up telling us that we have power. As soon as you plug that in, it'll start to power up, guys, for you here. This does accept batteries as well, but you don't need to use the batteries if you're just gonna scan for codes and have it plugged into your port. Your port will power it for you. This is more for if you want to use this USB here and transfer files to a PC or something like that. That's what the batteries would be for. Now, as you can see, it says there was an error here, and that's because I didn't turn on my vehicle. So you have to turn the ignition to the on position. You don't need to start your vehicle, but you have to turn it to the on position. So now I'm going to press this power link button, and this time it should work. All right, so now we're linked up there. So to scan for any codes, guys, you just go here to system status, and there's all these different choices here. So global OBD2 port, that's that port right there that I showed you. That's just a scan for basic, check engine lights. You can also scan for ABS codes, so anything in the braking system. SRS codes, which is the airbag lights that I talked about. And then down here they have OEM enhanced, and mine is a Nissan vehicle. If I click on this, it knows what sort of vehicle that I have. For you, if you have like a Ford or a Toyota or whatever you have, it'll obviously be that brand. So scanning the OEM enhanced, and I don't have any codes. So let me show you guys what it looks like when you do have a code. As you can see there, it shows you the code, but then it gives you a brief description of what that code is. Okay, so let me go to the menu here, and you can select different things in here. There's the vehicle info. So you can do stuff like a battery test. And if you see right here, it says live data. So one of the really cool things that this tool does, guys, is live data. This is the lowest tier tool in the Zurich lineup that scans for live data. And it's a really nice diagnostic thing to have. It can be useful in a lot of different scenarios. So let's go ahead and start the car here, because for live data, the car has to be running. And then let's check this out here. So the battery is at about 14.1 volts, so that's great, excellent. So we can go back, see, can we get anything on the alternator? Okay, alternator duty signal is off. I'm not sure why that signal is off. I wonder if there's a way to turn it on, because I did have that working the other day when I was trying to scan it. But we'll move on. Drive cycle procedures. Start engine before reviewing drive cycle procedures. Continue. So these are all the monitors that it is monitoring currently. And then these are the disabled monitors. I'm not sure why these are disabled currently, but it's telling you what is and is not. And then down here they just have stuff like service reset. That's if you want to reset your oil light after you change your vehicle's oil. I don't have that on my vehicle. Service check, I don't have that on my car either, but I'm assuming on some newer models that that's based off of your vehicle's mileage or maybe a few other factors. It will tell you when you need a service for something, but again, I would just take this with a grain of salt because who knows if it really knows the history of your vehicle like that. And then those are just some settings down there. Now, so that's all the basic features. Oh, here's the freeze frame data here. Again, we don't have any codes or the freeze frame data. Freeze frame data is basically if in the moment that a code is thrown, it will take a bunch of data from all the sensors, from all the live data sensors that you have on this vehicle. It will take a bunch of data and sort of a snapshot of what happened in your car at that moment that the code was thrown. So that'll kind of give you a little bit of insight into what the issue may be. Now these lights right here, so right now it's green, which means I'm all good. But usually this would either be yellow or red if there was a code. Red codes are something more serious. Yellow codes are either codes that are pending or maybe not quite as serious. And then obviously if you just want to clear codes, guys, it's this button here. But what I want to show you guys now is I want to do live data because that is the coolest feature on this tool. And again, your vehicle has to be running for this to work here. So this is all real-time data right here. This is the, engine coolant temperature. It's got, running in closed loop right now. Short-term, long-term fuel trims. There's, as you can see, there are 45 different things to go through here. Engine speed. It even has timing for cylinder 1. Air intake temperature, mass airflow. So there's a lot of different things here. Very, very cool. I'll just go through them all real quick here to show you guys. It tells you how long that your engine's been running there. That's sort of interesting. Fuel level input. So I got about 67% of a fuel tank. Oh, so this here is pretty neat, guys. So this tells you how far that you have driven since the last diagnostic trouble code was cleared. So I told you guys that I had an airbag light on in this truck, and that's the whole reason why I needed this tool. And since I fixed that, it's been 360 miles. Barometric pressure. So there's all sorts of sensors. So lots of different stuff. Let me go through the rest of them here real quick for you. And then, so you can view all this stuff in here, which is cool. So if you go down here, you see it says press LD again for LD menu. So this is the live data menu. So you can actually record live data and then you can play it back. And you can do all that on this tool. But so Zurich has, for all their scan tools, there's a free app that they use, available on either Android or iOS platforms, in the App Store. And let me show you what that looks like. So that's what the app looks like, guys. It's called Repair Solutions 2. So let's go ahead and open that up here. And then once you open this, you can actually link your phone to the scan tool here. So make sure everything's ready to go and hit continue, and it's going to try to pair here. And retrieving data. So once you scan your vehicle, if there's any codes and you link it to your phone here, it will automatically load those onto this app here so that you can go back later and look at it. So now you can update your odometer if you want to. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, and then you say generate report, and it'll finish here. All right, there you go. So we don't have any codes. It says we're ready for an emissions test, but there's a lot of other cool stuff here, guys. This app shows you more info overall than just the scan tool can. So there's a lot of stuff that you can read and see on the scan tool, but it is often easier to view it in the app, I've found. So let's go here, vehicle care update. So you can see up at the top there has my vehicle mileage, everything. So right here for maintenance items. So my car is at about 100 and almost 19,000 miles. It's saying that 120,000 miles. This is all the stuff that it thinks need to be done. Now, obviously this doesn't know the history of my vehicle. It's just saying this is stuff that's usually done at 120,000 miles. So it gives you a little bit of info there. And then this one is kind of interesting here. So it says, based on our data, it is likely that the following repairs will be required for your vehicle within 12 months or 15,000 miles. And then right here, you can see it says 9%, 8%, 19%, and it's got all these different parts, sensors and stuff that it thinks could fail. And then over here in the far right, it gives you approximate price of what that would cost to fix. And then obviously these are shop prices with labor and everything, guys. But, you know, I don't know what formula that they use to try to figure all this stuff out. You know, I'm sure they have like a database of info. Kind of interesting. I guess I would take it with a grain of salt, but sort of, you know, neat that they do that. And then, so this is one of my favorite features, guys, right here. TSBs and recalls. So this shows you all recalls, both dealer and safety recalls that your vehicle's had, as well as technical service bulletins. So it has them, you know, broken down into different categories. So let's click on, let's say, brakes here. So it shows you the date that they were issued, and then you can literally click on one of these. It'll load it for you right there. And this is the technical service bulletin, guys. This is the original one. That's a fairly short one. Let's choose another one here. Basically, what a technical service bulletin is, guys, is it is a known problem, issue with your vehicle that the manufacturer sends out so their dealer techs know how to fix that problem. Basically, it's an issue that's not deemed bad enough for a warranty recall or anything like that, but it's a known problem, so they are trying to give a fix for it, you know, because they have a bunch of vehicles showing up at their dealership with those issues. So as you can see, there's 114 of them here. So this is really cool stuff. This is really valuable info to have. So if you're having one of these issues, you can just go in here and read this, and this could, you know, kind of either tell you how to fix it, or at the very least, you know, tell you what the problem might be or why you might be having that problem. So that's really, really cool, I think, guys. I love that feature. And then it has stuff like warranty, which I don't care about. You know, I don't have a warranty on this vehicle anymore. And then down here, it has VIN decoder, so you can go ahead and see all this detailed info on your vehicle based off of the VIN. Tells you where it's made, and everything is made in Canton, Mississippi. That's some new info that I didn't know. But, you know, sort of neat. So there's a lot of info in here on the app. Now, if you look right down here, guys, there's live data on here as well. So now that the phone and the scan tool are linked, let's go back to here. And we're going to go to record data here. And we're going to do manually. And so you can choose. So all those 45 sensors that it had on the live data earlier, you can choose any of those that you want. So let's see. Let's go with engine RPM, timing. Let's go with mass airflow sensor rate and throttle position. Okay. So I'm going to choose those ones, and then you're going to press LD to proceed. and then you're going to start recording. Okay, so you can see all those frames there, and it is starting to record. So I'm just going to blip my throttle here a little bit so we get some changes here, so we can see some. There you go. Okay, and it's still doing its thing here. Okay, so in real time that was probably about 30 seconds or so, guys. Okay, would you like to view file? Sure, let's say yes. I pressed yes. I think there's a little bit of a delay here. It's probably thinking. Okay, there we go. So you can either choose frame by frame. I think there were 100 frames there that it took, but we want continuous playback. Now you can view it on here, guys. Here you go. So see the frames at the top. So it's doing, you can see there's a little bit of change in RPM, not much. I don't know what point I started to blip the throttle here. So that's when you'll see all the stuff changing. And let's see. So this only fits three different parameters on the screen at one time. There you go, that's where I started blipping the throttle. So this isn't as handy to view it on because, you know, the screen is only so big. But you can view all that info on here. And then obviously if you want to go back and look at just one frame, you can certainly do that. Now, I'm not going to take you through all that right now. I want to show you. Okay, so it didn't upload the one that I just did for some reason. Usually it'll just automatically upload it to this app as soon as you're done recording it over there. But let me go ahead and open one of these old files that I did. It was the same one, so you'll just select those files and then you'll go to done. And then, so as you can see at the top, it was 34 seconds. And let's see, live replay. So we hit that, it's loading. And so you can see at the bottom that it's playing now. And not much is going on yet, but then that's when I blip the throttle. You can see the spark advance, everything is changing. So basically, and it looks like you could probably view up to about 8 things at one time in here. Oh, also there's an option to view graphs if you want to. So this is the live data graphs. There's not much going on here, but when I, blip the throttle, obviously there's stuff happening there. Oh, it looks like you can also overlay graphs. That's not something I've done yet. So I could do like those two. Interesting. Can I go backwards? Probably. There you go. Okay. So you can overlay the graphs there if you want to. So this is stuff right here that you can't really do on this one. This only gives you one way to view it, and it's a little more clunky, a little harder to view it. I mean, it'll show you the data, but this is just a better, visual here if you have it linked on your phone. Oh, and then there you go. Up at the top, it also has the numbers there. So that's cool. Hopefully that showed you some of the main features of this tool. I think it's a great tool for the money. Oh, this tool, while it does have live data, it does not have live data for the SRS codes, and I don't think it has live data for the ABS either. It'll still read the code for you, it'll clear the code, and it still has live data for 45 different parameters. This is all the Zurich models and the different features they have. Again, hope this helped, guys. If you have any questions for me or anything that I didn't cover that you were maybe curious about, let me know. I'd be happy to try to find the answer for you. But until then, see you guys next time.